This is a too long didn't watch boss guide for... Wait, which one is this? Elisande, that's right, it's Elisande. You'll have to take Elisande down 3 times to 10% before actually defeating her. Every time you do, she rewinds times and adds more abilities. So let's start with the first phase. She'll spawn 2 different adds in this phase. Let's start with the first one. It's called a Recursive Elemental. These will continually cast blasts, so interrupt them as many times as you can. Later, they will drop a slow bubble, which will slow down your abilities and everything, so don't get hit by this one in the first phase. The other add is called an Expedient Elemental, and it'll pulse damage that'll stack higher. When this one dies, it'll drop a fast bubble, so get this to do more damage. And you also want to position these a little diagonally. Around every 35 seconds, Elisande will teleport to a random place in the room and cast Arcanetic Ring, which will have these balls that'll go into a circle and do her... Oh, that sounded wrong. These do get affected by the fast and slow bubbles, that's why you want to place them diagonally so they'll get slowed, so it'll create an opening which you can walk through and they'll go fast. She'll also cast Spanning Singularity, which will put a circle on the ground and you can need to soak it, but don't soak too much of it because it actually does a lot of damage, only take a few ticks. And surprise, surprise, she has a stacking tank dot, swap around 4 stacks. It's called Ablation. Once you get her down to 10% in this phase, she'll rewind time and go into the second phase and add a couple more abilities. First one that we'll go over is Epoch Orbs. Circles will start appearing on the ground, they'll slowly descend, you need to soak them or else it'll wipe the raid. Second ability is Delphuric Beams, which will target players with white arrows. After a few seconds, she'll shoot the beams out, so try to get out of the way. The tank ability will switch over to Ablating Explosion, which will detonate after 8 seconds. The tank that is marked with this needs to run as far away from the raid because it deals more damage the closer you are. Once she reaches 10% in this phase, it'll switch over to the last phase. In this phase, she'll start marking people with Conflexive Burst, which once the time runs out, it'll explode and deal damage to the entire raid. This debuff is affected by the orb, so you'll want one player to go into the fast, one to go into the slow, and one to not go into one, so it'll spread out the damage so it doesn't wipe you. She'll also start affecting players with Permalative Torment for every cast. When you get this, don't go into the fast bubble because it'll make it tick faster and it ticks harder each time it does damage. And lastly, she'll start casting Ablative Pulse. This can be interrupted, so just interrupt it every time. Have a rotation if you need it.